Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff Coga. First and foremost, I would like to welcome you and thank you so much for being here today. Now, before we get started, I want to do a quick sound and audio check to make sure you guys and gals can hear me. So if you can hear my voice as well as, can you see the smiley face I just drew on the screen? If you do, let me know in the chat box. Yes, Jeff, I can hear you, as well as I see the smiley face, and maybe you can throw a smile back at me. Let me pull up the actual chat box here. Give me a second here. I got something pretty cool today. Smiles. All right, cool. Smiley face too. All right, so today's training, thank you so much, Liz, Denise, Sherry, Steven, Griselle, okay? And for the other folks who did not respond back, I may go down the list and I might start unmuting y'all. So, make sure you have a mic available, as well as make sure to call in if you do not have a mic, because I would love to have conversations with y'all on today's training. And the reason being is because, remember, last several trainings or so, you guys and gals have been asking, hey, can you show me some more live case study, and especially the call conversation that some of my acquisition guys and other agents actually have. So I decided to put together a specific training on this, okay? And this is what it's all about. And I think because of the text message and because of the feedback I've gotten from y'all, I think this is going to be pretty darn cool for you guys and gals. So this is a live call case study training, and the topic is going to be about why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, and why scripts are good, but why you need to learn to listen first. Okay? Let me make sure here. All right, so we're going to get right into it. So before we do, any updates from you guys and gals, any updates on campaigns or things or challenges or opportunities you're seeing in the marketplace? We'll love to go in there and have a conversation and see how things are going. Working on the next list, Giselle, thank you so much. I think I saw, how about Naya? Give me a second here. Let me pull her up. All right, where are you at? Did you disappear? Yeah, okay, so hold on here. Naya, are you there?
Yeah.
Miss Waters. Say hi to everyone, Miss Waters.
Hey there.
All right. So I know you've been texting. Sorry, I think you texted me as well as shot me an email, and a couple campaigns that you got going on. So give me some feedback on what's been happening, some updates on your side.
Well, I feel sad that you just unmuted me, but what's going on my side? Okay, so the answer is I've been using the pending hijacking campaign, and I'm getting a lot of responses from people. My buyers aren't quite as good as my response from the pending hijacking campaign. Uh-huh. So I'm getting the campaign's working, and then the buyers are backing out a bit on me, like, oh, we're going to wait a little bit. So I'm not quite sure what to do with them. So let me ask. But the campaign's gorgeous.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So you do the pending hijacking campaign, and you got the agent saying, yes, this deal's about to fall apart, and you go in and you even ask, I'm hoping that you're asking that, hey, what do I need to come in at to make this work, correct?
Correct, yeah. Okay. So everything's rolling forward properly with the campaign. Cool. And then it just happens that my buyers are having other stresses in their life right now.
Okay, now your buyers, how are you approaching them when you actually get an agent and then they say, hey, here's a property, you need to write an offer if your buyer's interested? Like, how are you approaching them? Are you calling them, texting them? Are you emailing? What are you doing?
Well, it depends on the buyer. So I've got 3 different buyers that, just for a little background, you and I had talked, and at the time we initially had talked about this campaign, I had 3 buyers going. I picked up 1, and 1 is in escrow. So,
you got 1 in escrow. Okay, how much? For how much?
Like, $600. So it's not a huge one, but it's solid. I think it's going to be a solid escrow.
How much percentage? 2% or 2.5% or 3%, or what is that?
2.5 on the buy side, yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. So, that's not bad. That pays the bills. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's a little money in the bank there, so we're good. And I picked up also, and I also solved a little bit of it with a lease. So what I hadn't told you is I had a lease guy. I never do lease on the buy side, but in this case, this guy's also potentially a seller. So I just put him on a pending hijacking thing for some leases that I thought he needed because he had really weird requirements, and we found something through that as well. So that worked out okay.
How much is the
buyer? It's $4,206.
That's not bad. Are you going to get him in like a 2-year, 3-year contract so you can get paid more on it?
Strangely, he's going to be on an 11-month contract, not 11-year, 11-month contract.
Oh, I thought you said 11 years. I'm just like, ooh. I
started to say 11 years, so I'm like, yeah. No, 11-month contract.
Okay.
That would rock, right? No.
Yeah.
Anyway, but what I was going to say was the pending hijacking campaign is really working. I mean, people are, responsible agents are responding responsibly, and things, as you know, go into escrow and come back out all the time, and the number of our we could accept a backup offer kind of listings that are out there right now are pretty strong. So, I mean, the number is strong. Apparently the escrows aren't.
Let me ask the direct question on that, right? So you got them to say, okay, you got the price, and then these buyers that you're approaching, what's the feedback they're giving you? They're just saying, I'm not really ready, but more of like, how are you approaching them? Are you just saying, hey, by the way, I got this deal? How are you approaching them?
Yeah, the first round I did that. I was like, I know they need something, and they really were pushing, so I didn't really pressure them until I knew what I was getting back. Mm-hmm. And the first round, I did the sloppy version, like you just said. Mm-hmm. And then what happened was I said, listen, so here's the scoop, guys. I'm going out there and I'm hunting down for you some additional ones that, don't look like they're on the market. I'm just, contacting everybody I know to find you something that's really great just as it comes back on market or before it does.
Yeah.
We gotta roll forward if you want these, because I think there's some good ones in here. Mm-hmm. And at that moment, it became apparent to me why they hadn't been moving forward. Like they had something else going on in their life, each one of them. So, one of them actually just has a severe job deadline that's going to take 3 months, and then they plan to make decisions about what they're doing. Another one's got a mom issue, like a mom health issue, and the third one the third one that's newer, I just think isn't really ready emotionally. The newest one. So I'm still, feeding stuff to them, and, as people get back to me, I'm, responding to it and keeping in touch with the agents and stuff. But I slowed it down a little bit when I realized I wasn't really sure I could come through with the agents. So then I thought, well, let me go up to the campaign for sellers, and I've gotten as far as doing most of the setup for that. I'm a little freaked out right now by the whole recording my voice thing.
That's good.
For the message.
That is a good thing. That is a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. So it's for anyone else that's listening. If you're freaked out, that is good. That means you're moving. You're moving. So, yeah. So again, as I told you before, I think, right, if you're not a tad bit embarrassed by your first attempt, you're taking way too long to do it, right? So, my recommendation is to ready, fire, aim, and record it. And you need some help, reach out to me throughout the week, and then I'll kind of probably drag you, kick you a little bit, and then be like, let's get it done. So.
Okay, I appreciate that, because I could use a little bit of that at this moment. So yeah. Thanks.
Okay, not a problem. Thank you so much for sharing that. Oh, and by the way, for anyone else that has buyers on the fence, right? Does the pending hijacking campaign work?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so. I was actually very impressed with once I just worked through the technicalities of the mail merge and everything, that everything was super smooth. I mean, it was just like, wow, this is kind of really easy to do, and it feels very professional. It feels like I'm responding to agents in a way that they appreciate and that I can appreciate their response.
Yeah, and it's kind of isn't it like when I first discovered it, kind of felt like it was stupid easy. Like, why? I don't understand why it works, but it works really well, right? Like you're like, huh? But it does.
It actually works because you don't. I think because you don't bombard them with too much information.
Yep. Yeah. You got it. Okay, well, thank you so much for that. I'm going to go ahead and mute you there. So again, anyone else? Let me see here. Put together a list now for my first campaign. Is that Liz? All right, so where you at, Liz? And then for folks, we're going to go into the live case studies today, so bear with me. I just want to, for the folks, I want to help out the folks that have done stuff. So, Liz, are you there? Liz?
Hello?
Say hi to everyone, Liz.
Hi, everyone.
All right, Liz. So give me some updates. So you said you put together a list now and you're ready for the first campaign. So tell me, where are you? When are you going to pull the trigger? Today? Tomorrow?
Well, hopefully, we'll have to get the list appended first. So I'm putting together the data now, and I've got a couple of different lists that I'm working on. One is for my farm, and then the other one is absentee.
Cool.
So yeah. And I emailed, actually last week, I think I sent a list, but I didn't go far enough into the training to look at the template. So I think that's probably why I didn't get a response.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. It's a certain way that you want to structure it when you submit it, right? Because otherwise they're gonna be like, I don't know. But okay,
Right.
Liz, I think you also did the Get Business or the Pending Hijacking campaign. Did you not? Like recently? How did that work out?
Oh, I did that probably a couple of weeks ago.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I did do that, and I got some responses, but my buyers really weren't ready. So
Okay.
I got a better response, I think, from the first one, like the Get Business Now.
Yeah. Okay.
That worked out really well.
Now, when are those buyers going to be ready? Have you gotten that far in that conversation yet?
Beginning of next year.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, at least now you know, right? So
Yeah.
I would still trickle out some stuff like, and this is for Naya as well, is like do periodically the pending hijacking campaign, right? Then you can send it out and be like, hey, I know you're not ready till X, but wanted to show you what's possible. And then you send it out and be like, hey, it's listed at this price. You can probably get it at this price because of my relationship. And then when it closes, then you can like email them and be like, hey, FYI, hey, this is 100,000 under listing or whatever it ends up at, right? So so I would stay in front of them. Okay. So, but other than that, any questions or something else I can help you out with, Liz, today for you?
Well, I mean, I guess when you're starting out in your campaign, in your experience, what do you think is the best list to go after? I mean, I just kind of picked my farm and absentees, but I'm not really,
Okay, so that's right. So this is a kind of a question that people ask me all the time, where they'll say something like, "Are you familiar with USP or unique selling proposition?"
Yes.
Okay, so I tell individuals this, right? Like I'm out in California, right? So if I'm out in California and if I can somehow figure out your unique selling proposition in your marketplace, right? Then it's not number one, it's not that unique, okay? And two, it's really, really challenging. So my question, to answer your question, is a question I throw back at you, which is to have you done some market research to see where are those pockets of places where you think that you might be able to get advantage. Like I know you mentioned absentee owners, so is there a particular reason? Now I know that you and your husband you did the listing side and he's an investor too. So did that zip code fall under the category of properties and deals that you guys and gals can buy?
Well, if not, I mean, I was thinking I could always pick it up as a listing. So, I mean, what I did was I didn't go by zip code, I went by city. So
that's fine too. Yeah. Okay. So it is an area that you have two exit strategy, one to get the list or one to buy, correct?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, did you put any filters on top of that? Like, for example, hey, because I know you're trying to do the addition and build outs and stuff, so did you say, hey, medium, lot size is 6,500, so I want stuff that is 6,000 square feet lot and above with, footprint of the living space of 1,500 and below or something like that. Did you do that? Or did you just take the city and just, boom?
No, I just took the city and I just filtered out all the actives and, just kind of tried to narrow it down, took out all the LLCs and just left it with owner names. But no, I didn't do that.
Did you filter out the ones that like people bought like last year?
Yes, I did. I went from
good.
2015 was the latest closing. So
okay, good. Yeah, so I honestly think that's fine. Like that's fine because how many records did that pull up? Like a couple thousand, couple hundred, tens of thousands?
For one city, it pulled up just under 1,000.
Okay, yeah, that's a nice, decent size list. Yeah, so I would run with that and then drop the campaign and see what happens. My gut tells me I think you're gonna do really well because I'm pretty darn sure nobody's doing this in your guys' backyard.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So, but the point is that I want to make really clear, Liz, is to push through this, right? So again, remember the first campaign is the most hardest one. So you got the email ones going. So now let's get this, let's drop this, and then you'll see. And I know you have background with like running PPC and stuff like that, right? So remember when you get the data appended and stuff, make sure you throw that into the backend campaign to run, some retargeting campaigns and things like that too. All right?
Oh, okay, yeah. So they give us email addresses as well as phone numbers.
They have options that you can do. So,
Okay.
but the phone number is all obviously the best one.
Right.
So I would upload the phone number as a remarketing on Google.
Oh, right, on
Retargeting.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You got it. You got it. Okay. Okay.
I got
Cool.
it. I got
All
it.
right.
Thank you.
All right, not a problem. Thank you so much. All right, so I know we went a little bit longer going through this, okay? So let's go ahead and get into the core of today's training, okay, which is the live calls. And I'm going to show you some of the critiques I do with my guys on the call. And this is going to be really interactive, so please pay attention to this. I'm going to cover some stuff that I've never covered in, I think, a live training, but it dawned on me that I think this is going to be very, very beneficial because of where we're currently at in the marketplace, okay? So, question. If you are talking to a seller, okay, would you give value over the phone? Type your answer in the chat box, please. If you are talking to a seller and they say, hey, how much is my house worth? Would you give the value over the phone? Let me know in the chat box. So again, the question is, you are talking to a seller and they say, hey, would you give, how much is my house worth? Would you give value over the phone? All right? Now, I know some of my grizzled veterans know the answer to this. All right? So we got people saying, Judy saying, no. Steve saying, no. Okay, well, let's say maybe. And it says, not a home value. Julie said, no, no. All right? Nancy said, it depends. Usually no. All right? Now, the answer, this is an actual trick question. Okay? But remember your answer, okay? Remember your answer, okay? Remember your answer, all right? Now, ask yourself, how did you come up with that definitive no or yes or maybe? All right? Just think about that a little bit, okay? Did some coach or trainer tell you that over the phone, and is that it? Or is it because maybe when you did get value to it, it kind of killed the next thing, all right? Think about why you're saying no, all right? Where did that come from? Is it when you first started real estate and you talked to a mentor, coach, or whatever, and they said, by the way, you never get value over the phone. You want to set an appointment. All right? And is that why you're saying no? All right? Think about that, okay? Because this is what it's going to tie into, all right, on today's training as you listen to the calls and things like that, okay? So the first half of today's training is I'm going to ask you some questions just like this. So please go back and forth with me, and then the second part we're going to actually hear the calls and I'll break some stuff down. So for the folks who said, let me see here, let's go with Judy because Judy gave me in all caps and said no. So where are you at, Judy? Judy, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, say hi to everyone, Judy.
Hi, everyone.
All right, so you said, would you give value over the phone? And you said no in all caps, and you kind of shouted. So why wouldn't you?
It seems to me anytime I've ever given them a number off the top of my head, it didn't turn out very good.
Okay. As in when you say didn't turn out very good, like can you paint a picture, tell me a little bit more, meaning maybe did they hang up on you or did they say, Judy, you're crazy or something like that? Or like what happened when you say it didn't turn out good?
It didn't turn into a listing.
Okay. Gotcha.
They got the answer and that's all they wanted. Bye.
And then they say bye. Okay, gotcha, yep. Fair enough. Okay, so thank you so much for that. Thank you for your cooperation. I'm going to go ahead and mute you there. All right, let me see here. What about our good friend Steven? Okay, so Steven said something. Where are you at, Steven? Oh, Steven, I think you're muted on your side.
I'm okay. I'm here.
There we go. Say hi to everyone, Steven.
Hello.
All right, so you didn't say it in all caps, but you did have a capital N and said no. So why if seller says, would you give, how much is my house worth? Why did you say no, Steven?
Because I can't get a listing if I'm on the phone.
All right.
I have to be there in paper. I have to be there in person. There's no sense in giving them the value. And what I say is, I don't know. I haven't seen your home. When can I see your home?
Gotcha. Okay.
And then if they say, well, it's like this, and I said, well, I don't know. I haven't seen it exactly. When can I see your home? It's the same script over and over again until they understand that's the answer.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Thank you so much for that. All right. All right. So remember, and we're going to get deep into the psychology of this today, okay? Because I believe this is really important. Because many times, as Steven said, and I think as Judy said, is majority of the salespeople in this industry is trained not to give the value over the phone. Right? If you listen to some of the training, you guys wonder, why do my guys give value over the phone? All right. And we'll talk about a little bit about that. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into this. So pop quiz time. All right. So let's just say you talk to a seller and the seller said, come on over, right? And you're about to give comp out, okay? Or you're sitting them face to face and then they say, hey, what is the house worth? All right, so here is an example of this. So we're going to play a game, so please pay attention to this. This is really important stuff, okay? So here's 321 Deal Lane, an amazing city and an amazing state of 90210. So, okay, I just picked 90210 for the sake of this, okay? And the specs are this: 3-bedroom, 2-bath. All right, living square foot is footage. Okay, is 1,900. Lot size is 6,500, and it was updated 2 years ago. So the sellers say. All right. So now the question is, how much is the house worth? Okay, we're gonna ask this question: how much is the house worth? So let's play this game. All right. So A is 1 comp. All right. Is 123 Comp Lane at 3-bedroom, 2-bath, has a 1,600 square feet living space and a lot of 6,500, and is sold for 200,000. Okay, now, if your area is a lot higher, okay, I'm purposely using this, okay, as for easy math, all right, just add an extra 0, okay, so, all right, so, okay, so 200,000. That's Comp A. Comp B, let's go ahead and get into this. This one's 777 Lucky Lane. This one has 3-bedroom, 1-bath, all right. And it's a 1,900 square feet of living. Lot size is 5,500 and is sold for 250,000. All right. Now, let's go with option number C. All right. It's 444 Fast Lane, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet living. A lot size is 6,500 and is sold for 195,000. So my question to you is, type your answer in. What is the house worth? It says, that's funny. Beverly Hills at 200,000. Yeah, I was, yeah, definitely. All right. So what is it worth? What is the house worth, ladies and gentlemen? What is the house worth? All right. What is the house worth? Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, guys. There's a purpose to this madness, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, there's a purpose to this madness. So please engage. Okay, all right. Please engage. All right. So thank you so much for the people who actually put something in there, or at least an LOL, or just like someone that says trick question. Okay, because the answer is this. All right. Not enough information. And yes, it was a trick question. If you thought about that a little bit, it is a trick question. Okay, it is a 100% trick question. Now, why is that? It's because, remember, you don't know what the condition, what those comps were. Right? I purposely left it off. I'm making sure you guys and gals are paying attention. All right? So, let's go ahead and get back and play this game again. All right? Remember this pop quiz? What is the house worth? Right? So, let's go ahead and let's make it a little bit better. All right? Okay, so remember, 321 Lane, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,900 square feet, 6,500 lots, updated 2 years ago. Okay, so 123 Comp Lane has 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's 1,600 square feet, lot size 6,500. It's sold for 200,000. All right, and then it was updated 5 years ago. All right, number B, 777 Lucky Lane is 3-bedroom, 1-bath, and it's a square foot of living spaces of 1,900. Lot is 5,500, and is sold for 250,000, but it was rehabbed. All right? And let's go with number C. 444 Fast Lane, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, has a 1,400 square feet living, and it has a lot size of 6,500, and is sold for $195,000, but it was out of date. So what is the house worth now? What would you say? Okay? Type in whatever that's running in your mind, okay? It can be numbers, it can be a statement, it can be a fact, it can be questions you want to ask me, okay? Again, just engage with me because I'm going to try to expand your mind on how to use this to have better conversations with sellers, okay? The goal is ultimately to have you convert more sellers, and I think this is a key component that you need to understand, all right? So, Steven says, there's never enough info in my market since comps are very low, all right? Stick by 275K, but I probably would ask them to see their wonderful home so that I could compare it to the ones I know already on the market. That's good. All right. Okay. So answer, maybe 225 to 240. Maybe, right? Now the question is, if you're on the phone, let's go back to this again, okay? Let's go back to this. The seller is insisting on value, all right? The seller is insisting on value. You're on the phone with these people, okay? And they're insisting, give me, how much is my house worth? You're the expert here. The question is, would you give that range out? Or that number that you came out with? They're insisting. Say, hey, how much is it worth? You're the expert. Hey, tell me. Would you give that out? All right. Uh-oh, Judy had a change of heart right here. Hold on, where are you at, Judy? Okay. Judy, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, so Judy, say hi to everyone again.
Hi, everyone.
All right, so Judy, so you just had a change of heart. Now, why, you just said you would give the range. Yes, why? Why would you?
Well, we're talking on the phone, and they're giving me all this information, and, you know, I won't hold you to this price, but what do you think? What do you think? Because they just keep asking.
Yeah.
And so I'd probably give them an estimate of range. I wouldn't give them an exact amount.
Okay, so do a hold on, let's back up here. Let's do a mock call on this. So these are the kind of numbers. So I said I'm the insisting, persistent, maybe obnoxious seller maybe, and says, hey, Judy, how much is my house worth on a 321 Deal Lane? It's supposed, how much?
How much? Well, am I going to use what you gave me on this page, or am I going to ask you to give me more information?
Well, you can. Let's just role play whatever you want to say. Yeah, so go ahead.
Oh, how long have you lived there?
2 years.
What did you pay for it when you bought it?
I think it was like 185.
Oh, well, that's good. And you updated it at the same time, huh?
It was already updated.
Oh, you bought it updated. Okay. All right. 195, and you bought it 2 years ago.
185. I bought it 2 years ago.
Oh, 185. Pardon me. And you're looking to sell it now in this market?
I don't know yet. I just want to find out what the house is worth. So how much do you think it's worth, Judy?
Well, it's much easier to tell you if I can see it, but apparently you would like to know something according to what the market is at this time. So in your local area, and according to what my comps say, it could be maybe 230 to 250.
Okay.
Depending on the... You're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, so timeout, right? So, okay.
Yes.
So is that one of the reasons why you don't give out the value, Judy?
If they do that, yeah, because
Okay.
they just want a number.
Gotcha. Okay.
Chances
So you give...
are they'll say, really, that much?
Uh-huh.
To
Okay.
open the conversation.
Okay. So bottom line is, so you would do it like that where you would give them a range?
Sure. I've done
No,
that.
don't agree if you don't agree. So that's why I'm asking the question. Yeah, would you give a range?
No,
Or-
I've done that.
Huh?
Sure. No, I
Okay.
do that.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much for that. All right. And let me see here. What about Steven? So maybe we can do the same type of deal. Well, your mark is a little bit different, so maybe Steven's a bad example. But you know what? Let's do it. So Steven, you there? You're muted on your side.
I'm here.
All right. So I know there's not too many comps in your areas, right? So, but if I'm insisting, okay, so let's just role play this, okay, Steven? Steven,
Okay.
how much do you think my house is worth?
Well, I haven't seen the condition of your home, and the comps in your area are pretty sparse, but it could be a range from 225 to 250. I really need to see your house to give you a really accurate number. When can I see your house?
So that's a pretty, well, let's add a 0 on there, right, for your market.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty wide range. So what do you think it is? I bought it 2 years ago and it was already fixed up. So I'm guessing it's like more on the higher side, right? 2.2? Is that what you're saying?
Well, like I said, there's not a lot of comps in the market right now, but if I can take a look at your home, I can probably give you a little bit closer estimate as to what it actually would sell for in this market. Are you planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months?
Not sure yet. I just want
Not
to
sure
know
yet.
how much it's worth.
Okay, and if you were to make a move, would you be planning on staying in the area or moving out of the area?
I haven't thought about selling, so I didn't even get that far.
Okay, and so Do you have an agent to help you when the time is right?
I am Asian.
Do you have an agent to help you when the time is right?
Agent. I am sorry. No, I don't.
Okay. And then, so if you were to, if the value was right at this point in time, do you think that you'd want to make a move?
I have no idea because you just gave me a range.
Okay, so what do you think that would sway your decision one way or the other as to what evaluation would cause you to want to make a move at this point in time? So since it doesn't sound like you really have decided where you want to move.
Yeah, that's a good question. But 200,000 is, quite a lot of money, So I would definitely want to know, what it is.
Okay. Would you want to buy first another home before you want to sell that one, or you want to sell that one first?
I would probably like to know how much it's worth, so I can see if I want to sell or not.
Okay. So you'd rather have a for sale sign in your yard before you'd actually think about buying another one then. Is that right?
Well, no, but aren't you an expert, Steven? So you can at least give me a better range than a $200,000 difference, right?
Well, like I said, I haven't seen your home. When would be a good time for me to swing by? It only take 10, 15 minutes, and then I can give you a much better idea. So I've got some time tomorrow afternoon. Does that work?
Possibly. All right, so
okay.
time out.
What works better for you, 1 or 3?
All right, so Steven, good job, right? So we're going in the circles and we're doing what you just said earlier, right? You just keep on hitting them, trying to schedule an appointment, so that's good. All right? So I know the fact that you don't hesitate and you don't stutter or anything, that this happens quite often, I'm guessing, correct?
It doesn't really happen that much, but I'm scripted for it, so I know what to say.
Okay, so that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and mute you there, okay? And hopefully for all of the folks that listen to this, right, I try to throw him off with a quirky little joke, right, but then he just stayed on the script, right? So that was good, all right? So now, okay, we're going to go into the next part, all right, because I think this is going to help y'all get some appointments better. Okay, so the answer we said was this is 225 to 240, and then I asked the question, would you give that range out? Right? And some of you guys and gals said yes. Some of you guys said no. We'll try to set an appointment, right? Okay? So let me kind of break down what happens if you do give out a range. All right? If you give out a range, it's either great or that sucks. All right? That's it. There are really no other options. Okay? Now, if it's great or sucks, here's what happens, right? If it's great, then you probably want to try to have them see the property to verify that number. Right? Because it's the number you told them. Right? And then if it sucks, they say, hey, no, that number sucks. And guess what? You're probably going to throw it in there as a follow-up campaign. Would you agree? And then if you try to ask hey, let me see the property, and they say, no, I just wanted to know the range, then guess what? You're going to throw it in as a follow-up campaign. Okay, now this is what typically 95 to 99% of the people in the industry are taught. Right? Now this process isn't bad. Okay? It isn't bad, in my opinion. Right? Especially when someone's pounding and says, hey, you know what, what's the range, what's the range, what's the range, and you do give out the range, okay? But it doesn't position you to actually set the appointment, in my opinion. That's what I discovered at an early age. All right? So we're going to go a little bit, deep in this, okay? But please understand this, okay? So the question is, what would Jeff do? All right? So pay attention because this is very important. Because remember, the goal is not to follow up. A follow-up is just simply a process that you're going to do. Remember, as Steven is trying to do, the goal is to set an appointment. So everything you say on the phone and you do, okay, is leading up to that actual appointment. And the challenge that you're always going to face if you've done enough, talking to seller is that battle of what? Hey, what is the real condition of the property and what's the actual real range? And then, hey, what is it really worth? And then saying, hey, you know what? I need to go out and actually see it. Right? It's that constant battle, the push and pull that you're going to run into. Okay, so the question was what? Earlier, I said, what is the house worth? And I said, type your answer in. What is the house worth? And you guys and gals did that. If you did that, thank you so much for doing that, okay? All right? Now, let me ask you a different question, okay? Someone's insisting on value. Instead of saying, what is the house worth, my question to you is, what will allow me to continue the conversation versus going in that open loop that we just heard? Right? So someone says, hey, what's my value worth? What's my house worth? What will allow me to continue the conversation on the phone, to build rapport, and maybe possibly get a better idea of where the actual seller is at. Would you just simply give a range out? What would you do? What will allow you to continue the conversation versus the simple what? Oh yeah, that sucks. You give a range that says that sucks, or it says, oh yeah, that's great. And then you try to set an appointment. What will you do? Right? And that's the question I asked myself. Okay? So here it is, all right? Is that when I decided, instead of giving a range, I said, you know what? And this kind of follows a philosophy of, does anyone know about like the movie theaters? I don't know if the last time you guys and gals went to movie theaters, but I'm kind of a movie nut, so I watch a lot of movies. But also at the same time, when you go to the movie theater, right, they have their popcorn, okay, popcorn. And the popcorn is set up as what? Small, medium, and large. And have you ever looked at the pricing on that? And then you kind of like scratch your head and wonder and be like, man, like, you know, are they purposely doing that? Because what you find out is the popcorn on the small and medium, they're very close in price, but then the size of the large is ginormous, and it's just slightly more than the medium. You guys and gals know what I'm talking about here? So then when you look at that, you're kind of like, you know what, let me go ahead and buy the large instead. All right? Now, why is that? It's a pricing strategy, right, that the movie theater use. It's a pricing strategy to sway an individual to look at the other stuff versus somewhere else, right? It's a pricing strategy. And there's an old saying in the world of marketing, if you've been around the marketing world long enough, you might actually know about this particular story, right? It's about a bread machine. All right, so this bread machine first came out back in, I think it was like 1960s or something like that, right? And it came out first, and they were trying to sell it in a magazine. All right, magazine, like a mail order magazine, right? And they were trying to sell it. I believe the numbers were like 100 and like 90 bucks or something like that, almost close to $200. All right, they tried to sell it, but the bread machine would not sell. Okay, it wouldn't sell. Why? Because people looked at it as what? It's a luxury item, right? They were just like, oh, we don't need a bread machine. It's a luxury item. And $200 at that time was expensive, right? So they didn't want to sell it. No one wanted to buy. And then suddenly they got smart and they said, you know what? Let's test something out. And they ended up, guess what? Creating a new bread machine, but then put another price under it. That was 3 times more. Right? And they said, hey, here's another bread machine for not $200, but this one's $600. And they put it on there. And then they sent out the magazine to their subscribership. And then guess what happens? The sales started trickling in. And take a wild guess which bread machine was selling, ladies and gentlemen. The one that was 200 or the one that was 600? All right. I don't know. The 200 one. Yeah, and if you answer 200, 100% the 200. Why? Right? The answer is why. Is because the higher price anchored the product, the perceived value, okay? And because of that, people say, you know what, hey, you know what, this one's 600, it's a luxury, but hey, you know what, it can get something close to it. You know what, we'll throw $200 on this. Right? And it's all about pricing strategy, right? Big corporations does it all the time. You go to Walmart, they do it all the time. Right? That smiley faces that slashes prices. All right? Amazon does that. Go on Amazon. Try to buy something on Amazon. Look at that. Right? They do it all day long. So as we get hit, right? Because remember, getting calls from seller is not an issue anymore. All right? And if you understand that, then the question always boils down to then, how can we get closer to the appointment? And then the question is, what will allow me to continue the conversation when a seller is insistent and persistent on saying, what is it worth? All right? And when I was hearing a lot of my guys doing the call, initially they were giving out the range, right? Giving out a range. Says, maybe between 220, 225. Maybe between $1 million and 1.1. Blah, 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 blah. Right? And I started hearing that, and every single time that happened, it ended the conversation into a what? Oh, great, this sucks, and always follow up in the follow-up campaign. And I said, this needs to stop immediately. So, can anyone guess what we started doing? And it ties in something to what I say all the time. Facts tell, stories sell. All right? Facts tell, stories sell. All right, so if you guys don't know, I'll give you the answer, okay? Is that, yes, we do give the value, but how we give it is more important than the actual number. All right? So what do? All right, when we give the value up over the phone? We do this. First one, in this case, we would give this one, 444 fast lane. All right? And then the second one, all right, guess what we would give? We would give 123 comp lane. All right? And then the third one we would give is 777 lucky lane, in that order. All right? Now, knowing the order that we would give this out in, the comps and values to, why do you think we do that? Anyone? All right. Let me see here. Think about this. I'll say it again. When we give value over the phone, when someone is really, really insistent and persistent on knowing what it's worth, we would, in this case, on the screen, we would give C out first, okay? Sold for $195,000, all right? Then we would give A out, okay? Sold for $200,000, and we would give B out, sold for $250,000. All right? And we got some great answers coming in, right? Anchoring, right? Telling people that other homes sold for more, but we could help you figure out how to position yourself to get more. Yeah, that's kind of part of it, okay? But it's about storytelling, okay? Storytelling. So let me explain first off, right, is when you give a range, that range doesn't really mean that too much to people, okay? So here's how it would go, right? So if you gave out 3, right, C, which is 444 fast lane, right? And I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I see 444 fast lane, which is like right around the corner. Do you know what that street address is? Yeah. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This one sold for $195,000. And then you be quiet. All right? And if they say, they're either going to say, great, that's awesome, or they're going to say, that's it? Right? That's what you're going to be left with. Okay? Now, when they say that, we purposefully wanted to say C first. Why is what? Because it's out of date, number one, and then the square foot is smaller. Right? So we always have a way to be like, oh, you know what? I think it'll be a lot more because this one is, you know what? It's 1,400 square feet. Yours is what? 500 more square feet. And on top of that, this one's out of date. You just told me it's up. You updated about 2 years ago when you bought it, right? Uh-huh. Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Let me see another one. Wait. I see another comp. Well, maybe 200,000. That means you'll put more than like 5,000 more back to your pocket. Do you know where 123 comp lane is? Yeah, I think I know. Or no, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, this one is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, so it kind of has the same mix. And this one sold for 200,000. And then they're either going to say great or that sucks. Doesn't really matter. And then we always have the ability to say what? Oh, but wait. You know what? This one's 1,600 square feet. It's still smaller than your property. So I think it's going to sell a lot more. And this was updated 5 years ago looking at the pictures. But you said yours is updated what? 2 years ago? And you did some couple other works too? Yeah, maybe no, right? Doesn't really matter. Okay, hold on. Give me a second here. Right? And then boom, we hit them with the what? The highest one. Oh, do you know where 77 Lucky Lane is? Yeah, I know what that one is. Yeah, I saw a sign on there. Yeah, this one sold. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. This one sold. Wow, I see an updated property that sold for over $50,000 more at $250,000. Huh. Was that the kind of value you were looking for? Well, not really. I think it was, I think it's worth a little bit more because mine's pretty up to date. It was up to date 2 years ago, but we threw in a. Oh, okay, but that's still okay because look. Oh, I didn't even realize this. This one lot size is 5,500. Your lot size is 1,000 square foot bigger, so I'm guessing you have a bigger backyard. Yeah. Yeah, so I think it might be, possibly might be more than that. Right? Do you see where I'm going with this? Right? We're not giving a range. We're telling a story with the comps that we see. Okay? Now, if you're an investor and you want to go the other way and you're trying to buy property, you just go the other way. Okay? So, but it's the same way that when you give the comps, you're telling a story purposefully, okay? Remember, you want to tell this story where you have the ability, instead of saying, when someone says great or that sucks, you have to say, oh, but wait. This one's a smaller square foot or a smaller lot. All right? Is that making sense, guys? Let me know. All right? Because once you give that range, it has absolutely no meaning to them. And then you don't come off as being an expert, all right? And then the biggest issue when you give a range just simply says, looking at it, it might be this, right? Is the challenge is that you shot yourself in the foot because you can't continue that conversation, right? Versus using descriptive language as you're giving the comps out over the phone. Hey, do you know where fast lane is? Oh, yeah, I know. Do you know where comp lane is? Oh, yeah, I know. Do you know where lucky lane is? Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, that was a dump. Oh, wow, I didn't know it sold for $250. Oh, really? Their lot is actually that much 1,000 square feet smaller? Yeah, it is. Right? All right, and that is number one reason. If you are going to give a value, tell the story. All right, of the property. All right, things like saying, well, 4.4 fast lane sold for $195. It is out of date, but you know what? This one looks like it's right by a electric pole, a utility line. Probably one of the reasons why, because imagine you're trying to start a family and you walk in there and you look outside and you see a power line there. Oh my gosh, the first thing out of my mind, I don't know about you, but I would be like, oh my gosh, my kids are going to get shocked if something happens. But you don't have power lines, right? Because I'm looking at on my computer right here. You don't look like, no, I don't have power lines. Okay, yeah, cool. Okay, so definitely it will sell a lot more than $195,000. Oh, you know what? Let me look at 123 comp lane. You know where that's at? No, I don't. Oh, that one's by that, high school right there. Oh, okay, yeah, my kids go there. Oh, really? What grade? You see what I'm saying? That now you can build a relationship tying in as you're telling the comp, right? Building versus say, hey, let me go out there and can I go out there I can go out there on Tuesday at 5 p.m. or I can go out there on Friday at 1 p.m. Which one is open? Right? That's a power close, right? Which is, you have to say, okay, but prior to that, you want to build that storyline, right? Like the area, right? Hope that makes sense. Right? The story is about as much as it is about their home. Love the example. Thank you for modeling. Yeah. So it's really important to tell that story, all right, of the property, especially in their backyard. Look at Google Streets, right? Look at Google Maps, right? And you're picking out, places. Oh yeah, is it by that place, by that place? Oh yeah, that church, that temple, that whatever it is. All right? Because instantly when you do that, they at least know that you're somewhat, at least know their backyard. All right? Okay, cool. So, are you guys ready for the case studies? Let me know. Any questions so far before we go into the case study? And we're going to play the actual live calls. Great stuff, great stuff. I will never give out a range like that. I'll tell the story. Yep, please do. Okay? Please tell the story. All right? It's so important. All right? Remember, story sell, facts tell. All right? How you do this is going to ultimately set you up for how easy it is to get an appointment or not get an appointment. All right? And we're going to talk about these case studies that I'm going to play. You're going to hear some couple stuff that's going to happen in here, okay? So again, when I play these case studies, I'm going to play as loud as I can. Hopefully the mic will hear it. And when you hear it, as you're listening to these calls again, okay, please type in the chat box what you would grade them. Would you grade a number 1 being really, really poor call to number 10 being the best call, all right, or in between 5 being a mediocre like C call, and then type in, anything that pops into your mind, Okay, things like ask for the appointment or that part sucked. They're like, I can't believe you said that. Whatever it is, type it in the actual chat box, all right? Because by the time after we play the full call, then we're going to go back and whoever is on here will make sure to do a kind of a hot seat and we'll ask the question on how we could have done better or what did you pick up. Sounds good? Let me know. Say aye as I pull this up. He said, someone said, are you a pirate? Aye, matey. Yes, I am, I guess. So, so aye. So, all right, so let's play this. All right, so let me make sure that we have the audio up, and let's go. Let's see here. Hopefully everything works.
Hello? Hello, Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Paul Johnson. You know, you gave me a call last week about my property.
Yeah, regarding your Norton Avenue property?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who gave you my number?
I get a phone reference from title company that I got, and I was just calling homeowners to see if they had any interest in selling in that particular area because that area has changed a lot. And we are at the peak of the real estate market. I'm sure you know that already.
Yeah, I take $665 for it right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, $665.
$665?
Right.
That might be doable.
Mm-hmm.
How soon are you looking to sell it?
As soon as possible.
Okay. Is this your primary home, or did you already have a place to move to?
No, it's a rental home. It's empty. You got that number for the real estate agent over there?
I am a real estate agent.
Oh, well, I've already got it marketed with Rex there.
With who?
Rex Real Estate.
Who's that?
It's a real estate company that buys and sells houses.
Oh. I don't see it on the market.
Huh?
I don't see it on the market.
It's not on the MLS. They advertise via internet at rex.com or Zillow.com, homes.com.
It's not on Zillow or any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm. So, all right then. I just wanted to return your call.
Let me ask you one last question. Are they like? What do they do? I mean, it just seems like they don't.
Oh, full service. It's a full service real estate office. You know, go ahead and take the pictures and all that. Do everything.
Oh, they do everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Full service.
They don't pay a listing commission or?
Listing for the MLS?
Yeah.
No.
How long is your contract with them?
3 months. It'll be over the 1st of January, New Year.
And what happens if they're not able to sell it?
And I'm find somebody that can. Well, I got you. So I can give you a call when the listing's over.
Well, the reason why I called is because I saw about 60 homes in that area. And I typically I sell net market properties, and I get all my clients top dollar, including on top of you paying a commission. And I don't charge the full commission anyway, so you'll be saving tons of money. But I am a local real estate broker that specializes in this area.
What type of commission you want?
I only charge 4%.
4%?
4.
That's cool. Okay, that sounds good.
Can you see if you could cancel with them? and I can guarantee you I can get your property sold in 30 days?
No, I got to give them a whirl. They done invested their money in the advertising and stuff like that, so I'm going to give them their turn.
Yeah, because it's not getting...
All right, so I just paused the call. Now, where do you think this conversation is going to go? Type in your answer in the chat box, please. We're about halfway through that call. I see some feedback here. Says sounds sleepy. Yeah, he has that. I keep on telling him to work on that, his tonality on that, right? But he is mirroring the other side. That's one thing that he's purposefully doing, right? He's talking a little bit slower. He's talking right, a little bit right versus high power. Say, hey, yeah, blah 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 blah, right? So that's very very huge. Okay. Guy is going to hang out without an appointment, but caller is going to ask for follow-up with him. No appointment. Yeah, so whatever this, yeah, so it's a discount brokerage that they're doing that. Okay, so yeah, so again, this is in a way of doing this is a what? No. Right? It's no. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Okay? Is that it's technically it's listed already with a brokerage. Okay? It's a discounted brokerage that is listed with that nobody knows about. It's not even in the freaking MLS. Okay? Bottom line, it says, hey, if it don't sell, I guess I'll figure out a way to sell it, right? So, yeah, so in my opinion, it's a no-no. So I told him about that, and it says, hey, you know what, you cannot be doing that. So right now, as it stands, it's a follow-up campaign. Okay? So, but you're going to run across this. Remember this, okay? As technology evolves, all right, there are a bunch of new companies that are coming out that are going to do where they're going to list the property on behalf for a flat fee, whatever it is. They're going to come out with that, all right? And when that happens, you have to have a way to be able to stick out, have to have a way to be able to get deals done. Okay? Now, if this was a FESBO one and it's already listed and you're talking to the seller directly, probably the line I would have used is, hey, would you be willing to pay a finder's fee if I bring you a buyer? All right? So on a scale of 1 through 10, what would you grade this particular call? Because we're going to go into the next one because I want to make sure that we don't go over like we did last time because I have tons of other ones that I want to cover. Yeah, it's pretty decent in terms of mirroring, in terms of pacing the call, in terms of a follow-up campaign later on, right? But I'm a firm believer that you should not be, like there's plenty enough deals to go around, okay? So I give him a 2 on this, in my opinion. All right. So, all right. So let's go and go to the next one. Give me a second here. Let me pull this up. This one's going to be a little bit more interesting, I think, for you guys and gals. And what I want you to take away, we're going to talk really deep about this one. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let me make sure that we have. Right, so this case study is called The Stadium is Going to Be Built, and there's gentrification going on, so I'll probably hold off, right? So that's kind of the storyline, and you can kind of guess what happens with this particular call if you're anywhere near Southern California and or if you're in a marketplace where something is being built, okay? Sometimes sellers will say certain things like, I don't want to sell until this thing happens. Right? Like a big thing in Southern California currently right now is certain stadiums that are being built, right? So where the stadium is located, these sellers do not want to sell because they believe that the home prices are going to go up, right? As well as some people throw out about the Olympics that are coming to Los Angeles as well, right? Because of that, they're like, oh my gosh, the Olympics are coming, so property values are going to keep on going up, right? Like I've heard tons and tons of that. Okay, so this is kind of part of this call, and we'll talk about this. So again, as you listen to this call, type in any feedback, comments, questions, concerns, whatever it is that you have in the chat box, and then at the end, I'm going to ask you to grade the call from 1 being the lowest, 10 being the best. Okay, so let's go and do this.
Hello?
Hi, my name is calling me something about selling property.
Yeah, I was just calling to see.
First thing I want to know, how did you get my number?
Huh?
How did you get my number?
Wait, so did you have any interest in selling or no?
But I would like to know, how did you get my number? Because I didn't get that. Huh?
Public records.
Public records.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what was your reason for calling me? To see if I was interested in selling?
Yeah, because we are at the peak of the real estate market again.
And so what is the peak of the real estate market in my area?
Well, I mean, that varies right on the condition of your property and, you know, what you're getting in rent and, you know, all that other stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I had thought about it, but I'm not for sure if that's what I want to do yet.
Okay, well, I mean, you know, if you did decide to sell, I mean, do you know already where would you move to next?
No, I would have to be interested in buying another property. I decide to sell.
Where at? Or would you want to live in?
I wouldn't want to live in the heart of L.A. I would want to live on kind of like on the outskirts, but I wouldn't want to live way out like an hour drive or whatever because I'm still working.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, LA is going to get gentrification right now. So, I mean, property values right now are at the peak. I mean, the last time we had values like this was 2007, which was the peak back then.
Mm-hmm. So it's really high, right?
Very, very high right now. That's why a lot of my sellers are selling.
Right. So if I was going to buy something else, that means that property is going to be even higher, and my note is going to be even higher. Am I correct?
Well, not necessarily, because if you sell your property for top dollar, and even if you buy another property, you'd probably be putting so much money down where your loan amount will be extremely low. So even if the market would have changed, I mean, one, you'll be able to find something that you want to live into, and two, you'd be putting so much money down because you're able to sell for top dollar, so that way your loan amount will be very low.
Oh, okay. And what real estate are you?
Berkshire Hathaway.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, I was just asking. I have had some consideration of that because,
how soon were you looking to sell?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm trying to make a decision. I'm getting close to retirement. I have like 4 years of retirement. And so I really actually is undecided of what I want to do.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you want, I'm driving right now, but if you want to text me your property address, since I don't have it in front of my computer, I could let you know what your property is worth, and maybe that will help you decide, what you want to do.
All right. I decided to pause this call. So, any feedback so far on this particular call? Who wants to be in the hot seat? Let me know. Come on. Come on. Don't be shy. Oh, there it is. Okay. I guess there was a little bit delay on this. All right. Miss Waters, are you there? Hello?
Yes, I am.
Oh, say hi to everyone.
Hi, everyone.
All right. So far on this particular call, what are some feedback? What are some things that you're noticing? What's going on? What would you say?
Well, I love the fact that I, up to the moment he said he was in his car, could not tell he was in his car.
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought he was leaning forward on his desk in an office space. It sounded quiet enough to be an office and not a call center.
Mm-hmm.
And but I felt like his body was leaning forward a little bit, and which made him feel initially a little bit timid, but actually she stopped fighting him immediately because he sounded a little like, well, like, she couldn't beat up the guy who wasn't in her face. And so he disarmed her very quickly. And then the other thing that I loved about this was all of those and well and you knows. At first they were annoying to me, but then I realized they were actually giving her time to calm down.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would say, well, I mean, and then the I mean, you'd want to know what he meant, right? You'd hang in there going, what does he mean? Right? And there'd be this lag, and then you could breathe, and then he would say something gentle. And, and he kept asking her questions, which was great, as opposed to telling her about himself. And I think he seemed like he fundamentally cared about his clients just enough.
Yeah, and he really does. He really does care about his clients. It's just his personality, right? Because I think someone says he sounds so awkward, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he does in a sense, but because of that, I'm a firm believer. I think a lot of time the older people, relate with him because they're so used to a high-powered salesperson.
Yeah, he really disarmed her. I mean, she was ready to just slam it on him, and she was like, oh, I can tell he's just talking to me.
Yeah.
You could tell she switched to that.
Yeah. Now, did you pick up something that she said, right? Where he didn't have the property address up, okay? But he said something where I creamed him on, like I drilled him on. I don't know if you caught that or not.
I was kind of trying to listen to her.
Mm-hmm.
So right around that time, I actually didn't hear what he said. I do remember the moment, though. I remember thinking, oh, blip, but I caught her more than the blip. What did he actually say specifically?
Okay, so all right, so thank you so much. So any other feedback that you've noticed, because we're going to play the rest of the call.
Yeah, I'm just super impressed at whatever he's doing with his headset. I would love to actually know what his headset was and his phone, because the combination was incredibly clear and did not sound at all like he was in his car.
It's just an iPhone.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's an iPhone. Yeah, so you just use his cell phone. Yeah, that's it. So yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
No problem. All right. So Steven said something. So where are you, Steven? Steven, you're muted on your side, I think.
Hi.
Say hi to everyone again, Steven.
Hello.
All right, Steven. So you caught it, I think. So can you tell the folks that are listening, and for the other folks that did not, for the folks who said, I don't know what you're talking about, Jeff, can you tell the issue on why I drilled him?
Yeah, he said, text me your address and I'll give you a value.
All right. Now, why is that a problem?
Well, he's losing all power and control. He's just like, you're off the phone. And you send off some text into oblivion, and she looks at it and goes, that's not what I want, and then you're done.
Mm-hmm. And what else?
And then they never pick up the phone again.
Okay.
Or they just discount you. They go, okay, that guy, I'm not going to deal with him. Deal with somebody else. Give me a different number.
Yeah, correct, right? Now,
and frankly, I didn't believe him when he said he was in the car. I thought, that's BS. There's no way. So to me, I don't believe it was a great headphone or a great phone or any of that crap. I was just like, there's no way he's in the car. He's telling me a lie. So what else is he lying about?
Yeah. So a couple things in this, right, is number one is, yes, you lose the power on that. But then secondly, the reason why I drilled him on that is, I don't know if you caught this, but he said what? She said, I'm what? How many years from retirement?
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. Right? Less than 5 years, right? 4 years from retirement, okay? So you already know the age gap that you're going towards, right? Right? So I tell individuals, based on what generation, baby boomers, Gen X's, millennials, right? The mode that you want to communicate, you want to, boom, stay in the mode that they're most comfortable with, right? So I already knew, listening to that, my gut told me that she's probably not going to text him back. right? So,
Yep.
so versus that, versus saying, hey, what's the address? You know what? Let me write it down or something like that, and being proactive versus kind of like what you're saying, So, so it's a huge plus one. But other than that, Stephen, what else did you pick up?
Well, she wants to. What I'm guessing is just to be moving in a quieter area.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a potential buy transaction as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably would have started focusing in on, hey, when can we get together and I can give you updates of all the homes that match your home buying criteria,
Mm-hmm.
so that I could, a lot of times it's easier to convert a seller if you approach him as a buyer. If she's looking to buy, then go talk to her about buying, and then you just segue into selling.
Correct. There's a lot of ways to do this, right? So I'm going to play the rest of the call. All right, Stephen. So I'm going to meet you here. Thank you so much for your contribution. Okay. And for everyone else that's writing, and I see your message. I'm not trying to purposely ignore you. Okay. I see it. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the rest of the call, and then think of in terms of what I've coached them on this particular call. All right, because there's a lot of things that happen in this call, and listen to this, because you might be actually doing this on your own call, right? Because it's a little bit different when you listen to the calls that you're actually doing, especially talk offs, right? So let me play the rest of the call, and again, keep an open mind. As you're listening to it, type in any comments that you hear into the chat box, so that way I can go back and I know where you guys and gals are at, and then we can be in the hot seat and have a conversation right on here, okay? Especially for the folks that I haven't talked to yet, because we've been talking to kind of the same people. Hey, let me know. Let's get on the phone here, and then let's talk. So here we go.
Okay. Okay, you want me to
Is this your cell phone number right here?
Yeah, this is my cell phone number. Yeah.
Okay, I'll text you my info, my direct line and stuff, and
Okay, but right now my yard is not up in good shape. Does that have anything to do with it?
You what?
My yard haven't been cut or anything like that, and it's brown. I haven't been watering it.
That's fine.
Okay, I'll text it to you and see what you say about it.
Yeah, because tons and tons of people are selling, because I'm sure you know that, we are at the peak of the market right now. The last time we had values like this was 2007, and a lot of people wish they would have sold.
I know the values are even going to go higher because of the stadium that they're going to build over there on Century Boulevard, and I'm not that far from it.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of people, think that is low, but even if the stadium is low, but if the market takes a correction or a crash, and regardless of the stadium, no matter what's built, no one can control the market and what this crazy president is going to do.
But I just wanted to sell my house, and because I do owe some defer on my house because I got trapped up in the state loans. You know how when they had that crash market, I had got trapped up. So my property had been and I wouldn't want to sell my house and get you get your issue, the tax get their issue, and I get $20,000 out of my home because I put a lot of money in this home.
Right, exactly. So, my goal is to make sure.
A lot of people. I want to leave out with $20,000, $30,000 for what I put
on your property.
Huh?
How much do you owe on your property?
I'm really not quite all for sure because some of it been deferred at the time. So
okay.
Right. So the deferred will have to be paid off because they said if I refinance with the seller, I would have to pay that. I was going to end up repaying it little by little anyway.
Right. So, everything will get paid through closing. You wouldn't have to pay anything to anyone up front. So, but I'll figure out if you can tell me exactly how much you owe. I'll tell you how much you walk away with, depending on what your property is.
Uh-huh.
At that point, we can decide, you know?
Well, first,
Then I
we have to see how much the property is worth.
Exactly. How much the property is and how much you owe. And you subtract those two and see if you know what's left over for you.
Okay. All right.
All right. All right. Man.
Okay.
If I text me the property address, we'll take it back.
Okay. All right.
All right, so please grade the call for me, please. What would you say on a scale of 1 being the lowest, 10 being the best? What would you grade this particular call? Type it in right now. 1 being the lowest, 10 being the best. What would you grade this call? And if you can go above and beyond and type in why, that would be even better. All right, so do it right now. Type it in. All right, so here it goes. We have people saying 4 to 5. Okay, 5 to 6. 4 to 5, 4, 5, 7. Okay, 7. Okay. All right. So I gave him a 1. Right? I gave him a 1 on this. Right? Now here's the reason why. All right? Number 1, he didn't give any value on this call, in my opinion. This poor lady is dying for wisdom. Not just simple knowledge of what the house is worth. She is so confused on what she's talking about. Right? Did you guys catch that? I don't know if you guys caught that or not, right? She's talking about deferred. She's talking about, hey, my lawn is bad, right? Is that going to have anything to it? I just want to know what the house is worth. She's talking about the stadium. She's talking about, hey, you know what? I want to go into retirement. I'm going to be retiring soon. But beyond, hey, what the house is worth, he gave no value. So I ripped him on this call. I said, what value did you give to this poor lady? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Right? Absolutely zilt nothing. Very passive, saying, hey, send me the text on that. I'll see the value on this, right? Absolutely no value. Right? Versus maybe having her think a little bit more about retirement, because clearly she brought it up. I would have pounded on that. I would have jumped all over that. Oh, really? You're retiring in 4 years. How is that coming along? Oh, what do you do? Oh, do you have a pension? 401k? Do you think your income's going to go up when you retire, or do you think it's going to come down? Oh, really? Your grass is, your grass is not, what's going on? What's going on? Right? You got to find out all those. He could have done that, right? She already broke the ice. She's willing to talk to him. He should have, at least built that component, find out a little bit more. Right? This is what I call order taking, in my opinion. You're simply order taking on this call. Like someone says, oh yeah, hey, you call me. You're interested in selling? Oh yeah, kind of. I want to know what it is. Okay? Did he even talk about the stadium? All right? And this is why I tell people you have 2 years, 1 mouth. 2 years, 1 mouth. All right? Because you got to listen 2 times more. He missed some really, really golden nuggets of areas to pound on, to actually deliver value on. All right? Remember, our income is directly proportional to the size of the value that we bring to the marketplace. All right? I'll say it again. Our income is directly proportional to the size of value we bring to the marketplace. So what value after that call did she leave off and say, oh my gosh? Versus if you had a conversation about retirement, right? I would have had me personally, I said I would have had a conversation about retirement versus anything about the house. Because now you got them, right? Because a lot of times people don't even think about that. If you're at that age, right, you either have enough money and it doesn't really bother you. So, but majority of the individuals in America, what? They don't have enough money in their retirement account. They're worried about it. So in her case, is she, like most people in here, and I know this because I listen to a lot of calls with baby boomers in this location, is that they're betting on the fact that home value and prices are going to go up, and then they're going to cash out, and magically that's going to be part of their retirement. Right? I just know that because I hear enough calls of people talking to baby boomers, within 10 years they're going to retire, and they have these properties, and then they're banking on that. Right? but you didn't have that conversation. Right? Because for mine, what I heard is what? She has this property for a long time. She did some refi with a funky loan and then got in a default, and then she tried to do something, probably a program that maybe gave her a teaser rate or something like that, and then tacked on all the back interest on the property, and that's why there's maybe a silent second or something like that on there, and that's why she said, hey, you know what, if I sell, I don't want to be walking around where you make money and then $20,000 I only get. And why is she concerned about? Clearly, because she brought up retirement. Right? So any single time someone brings up retirement, right, you got to jump on that. Like, hey, what does that retirement look like? Paint me a picture on that. Are you sipping martini on an island somewhere else in a different country? Oh, no, I want to move closer to my kids. Oh, where are they at? Oh, no, they're in, X, Y, and Z state. Oh, great. So you're thinking about possibly moving out of state. Oh, okay. So what, selling here at top dollars, getting some money, and then maybe buying there? Is that what you're thinking? Or they're going to say, oh, yeah, no, I'm going to move in a retirement home. Oh, I'm going to move further out. Like whatever it is, right? When someone says retirement, you got to jump all over it, okay? That's number one, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot stress that enough. I hope that made sense. I missed that one. Why isn't the watering it? She had to refi and her grass is brown, deferred maintenance. Yeah, 100% deferred maintenance. The question is why, right? So again, those things you have to be aware of. So that's why I ripped them on that. Now, here is one of the big reasons, especially here where if you do enough calls, right, you start seeing a pattern. All right, a pattern in all your calls. All right, and this is something that you have to discover in your local marketplace. Can I help you with that to discover that? Yeah, correct. And this is part of helping you, okay? But you got to have rebuttals. You have to have rebuttals. All right, rebuttals. Especially when this poor lady that he didn't deliver any value to said, oh yeah, they're going to build a new stadium, so property values are going to go up. Right? That's the message. Oh, they're going to X, this thing X is going to happen, so my property value is going to do Y. Right? There's tons of that all over the place. So then the question is, you have to have rebuttals. You have to have punchlines that you can throw at to have people think completely differently than what everyone else is saying in the industry. Like right now in Southern California, I hear it all day long of all these people who says, oh, wow, property values are going to keep on going up, so you should buy now. Why? Because, hey, they're going to actually build these stadiums, and then also at the same time we're having the Olympics, right? They're selling that, right? Now, does that work? Yeah, it does, okay? But if you want to have a different conversation, right, then you have to say things differently, right? And I'm a huge believer on that. All right? So let me show you this, okay? So here's the email I sent to him months and months ago, all right? Okay? And he didn't use it, so I had to send him again. So, and then we've kind of changed this. But I'm showing you how we come up with fly on this. I believe I sent this maybe last year, I think, maybe, okay? When I started hearing tons of this, all right? So here it is. All right, and please don't, my grammar may not be 100% proper in this case, okay? But hopefully this will help you understand how to come up with this, right? So I'm listening to a call, all right, and I'm hearing it constantly over and over about a stadium, over and over about a stadium. So I said, you know what? Let's change the narrative on these calls. So I emailed, here's a list of new stadiums that were built. So I said, hey, if the objection is my value is going to go up because of a stadium, say something like this. Let me tell you a quick story of two of my investors' friend from Arizona, right, which is a true story. He says, do you know where Arizona Cardinals play? They're a Major League Baseball team. Did you know that their stadium called University of Phoenix Stadium was built in 2006, 2007, and was near 300,000 while the stadium was being completed? The ambitious investor believed that the stadium will continue to go up. And guess what he did? He held on. You know what the wise investor did? Who saw market cycles go up and down for decades because they've been around for a long time, he decided to sell because of the frenzy. Now, we can fast forward a few years and the same home that was almost $300,000 near the Arizona Cardinals where they play went down to $100,000. And then I have a punchline that says, I'm sure you know who Warren Buffett is, and he's considered one of the smartest investors and the wisest investor ever. And he says majority is always wrong, and those folks who waited for the Cardinals Stadium to be built lost $200,000 in equity, and the wise home seller walked away with $200,000. History always repeats itself. This isn't just the Cardinal Stadium. And then I go on and says, hey, if they're a football fan, I would use the Colts example. All right, and I have literally when on the screen when the football stadiums were built. All right, because when my guys get asked, hey, what do you think the real estate market does? Yeah, we give like little zingers and punchlines, right? But we never actually say we're smarter than anyone else and say, hey, we know the market. Same thing. If people ask me my opinion on the real estate market, right? And I say, hey, you know what? If you actually know which way the real estate market or even the stock market is going to go, we all be multi-bajillionaires. No one really knows. So all we can do is the decision that we make today has an impact on what happens in the future. Would you agree? Uh-huh. So my question to you is, if you're near retirement, Miss Lady, you said, hey, you're going to retire in 4 years. Would you rather have the money in your bank account now? So at least you know that's in your hand, or hopefully something happens and then magically you're in retirement and then now you're upside down in your house. Let me at least go out there and take a look at your property to see what is it really worth. Because you did say that, hey, you have some deferred maintenance on this particular property. There's other ways that maybe we might be able to help you out. Right? Is that starting making sense? Okay? So I sent him this, okay, many, many months ago, and then immediately when I heard this call, I sent him another one. I said, hey, stadium rebuttal, mix up the punchlines. I said, hey, when someone says the stadium will make the value go up, and then I asked the question, do you know who the Arizona Cardinals are? Or maybe the Indianapolis Colts? Right? And I say, hey, these stadiums were built at the peak of the real estate market. In Arizona, the savvy homeowners sold before the stadium was built. The ones that didn't, home values went up by over $300,000 and came back down to $100,000. Look, I'm sure you agree no one can predict the future, but we all know history repeats itself. If you lived in Arizona, would you rather have had $200,000 in the bank now in your hands versus a few years later hoping that it's going to go up because the stadium's going to be done, but then you had nothing? I think a bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. Right? So these rebuttals you have to come up with in your local marketplace. I cannot stress that enough, right? Because people say, hey, to me, it's like, Jeff, can you come up with these scripts for my marketplace? I'm like, dude, I don't know your marketplace well enough. Like my marketplace, I can come up with stuff like that, right? I can come up with Punchline and Prop 13. I can come up with California, certain things that we can come up with. We can have conversation about 1031 exchange, that kind of stuff, right? But you have to come up with that, right? Is there gentrification going on? Is there something happening? Right? Can you talk about something other than the fact of what is the house worth now? Right? It's about forward pasting and as well as thinking about what happened in history. Right? Especially if they're older individuals, right? They remember, like human beings we tend to forget about things very quickly. All right? But I rest assure you, right? You talk to a baby boomer or a late baby boomer and you talk about Jimmy Carter when he was a president and you start talking about interest rates of Paul Volcker and when interest rates were in the teens. Hey, I don't know if you know this or not, but, do you remember when Paul Volcker was the federal chairman and interest rates were in the teens and, buying a house and, 13% was a great deal? Right? Do you know history where you can have conversations like that? No. Oh, yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, I remember, right? And then it shows that you know the history of what's happening versus like what most individuals do is they just regurgitate real estate market stuff and then they talk about it, right? Like they'll be like, oh yeah, So, all right. So hopefully that made sense. Is this helping? Let me know, please. Let me know in the chat box if this is helping or not. All right. Let me know in the chat box if this is helping. All right, where are you at, Norm? Norm, you there? Say hi to everyone, Norm. Norm. All right, I'm going to meet you. I don't know what happened there. I hear background noise. Okay? So you have to come up with this, right? And because remember, these punchlines, right? It's about changing the narrative of the conversation. Or I'll say it again. It's about changing the narrative of a conversation. And when you can change that and your attitude is that, then you're not going to have the same conversation as everybody else is having. All right? I'm not saying these power lines that these other sales coaches teaches doesn't work. Okay? Yes, it does work. All right? But if you're in a hyper-competitive marketplace, right, it's really difficult. And I don't like to do high-power like closes, right? Like I rather educate first, give true value, and then from there, let them decide what they want to do. Right? Now, there is a time and place where you want to ask for the appointment, ask for the close, right? Hey, you know, well, what time makes sense, right? Like those are really important, okay? All right? Those, I'm not saying that it's not. Okay, asking the close is very, very important, but how you ask for it is really important as well. So that's why I said this particular call, I gave an absolutely a what? 1 on it because he gave no value. Gave no value. She is dying for wisdom. She wants someone to talk to her about retirement, you know, because she is probably concerned. Maybe she doesn't, maybe she only has 50 grand in her, 401k, if that. Right, we know. Hey, there's some issue there with the with her money situation because there is a deferred maintenance on there. Why can't you do? You know, well, what's up? Like, you know, what's up? Well, how come the grass is brown? Right, like what's going on? Right. So now we'll most likely we'll be able to help her, okay? Because we're going to structure this deal in a way is that we'll front the money for the actual repairs, and then from there we'll have our construction fee be paid outside of, I'm sorry, not outside, but when the project closes, and if that happens, the value is going to go dramatically up higher. Right, so again, we are going to do that, and hopefully this turns into that, so she can walk away with more money, and then plus be able to buy a different house that's much newer, so she doesn't have to worry about deferred maintenance, and maybe possibly even a 1-story home. Remember, like these things you want to talk about, you know, is just like, hey, you know, you probably want to be in a 1-story home because as you get older, you don't want to be walking up these stairs, you know. So again, these things are really important to have these conversations with people. Okay, all right, so. Let's go and get into the next one. All right, so let me know, you guys getting value out of this style? And do you guys understand when I talk about making your own rebuttals? Right? Now, obviously, I can help you with some of these things, right? But you got to come up with these things, okay? All right, cool. So let me see here. Where is this? There's supposed to be a 1031 exchange one in here that I wanted to actually play. Where is it? Give me a second here, ladies and gentlemen. I thought I had it up on my screen here. I apologize. And it says, Norm, you're in the restaurant. Okay, yeah, no problem. So hopefully you're eating something good and healthy. All right, let me see here. Bear with me here. We got 2 more that I want to cover, okay? These are really important. Actually, you know what? We're going to do this one. Actually, you know what? Let's cover this one. We'll go final, and then we'll open up to Q&A. All right. And then we'll talk about this one, okay? So this is a case. So let's talk about this case study. This is our final case study. All right. So the case study is called Afraid of War and the Market Crash. Yeah, I'm ready to sell. What time can you come out? All right. This is what the case study is called. All right. And I'll explain afterwards what's going on and what happened and why this conversation is going on. All right. So here we go. And again, as you're listening to this call, once again, please type in any comments, feedback, suggestions, or anything that pops up in your mind in the actual comment box so that way we can reference that back afterwards. And then as well as at the end of the call, I'm going to ask you to rate this call, 1 being the lowest and then 10 being the best. And then from there, please type in why you graded it that way. Okay? Because remember, I do this with my guys who take these calls, right? Like I do these trainings, and I want to get you in a habit of this because once you start understanding this is how you want to elevate yourself to get into that role, if you want to do that role of making sure that you can coach your team members on being able to get better on the phones. Okay, so let's go and get into this. All right, let's pull this up.
Hey, Gabriel.
Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Can't complain. I got your voicemail about my my house.
Yeah, sorry to bother you, man. I'm a local real estate broker in the LA area with Berkshire Hathaway. I was just calling to see if you had any interest in selling that property on Phelps Avenue. I'm sure you know that we are at the peak of the real estate market.
Yeah, definitely interested. And I'll be honest with you, man. I get a lot of calls, where they say the same thing you're saying, and I get notes in the mail. But the problem is you guys usually lowball. So I mean, I understand it's a business at the end of the day, But so when you guys say you guys are interested, have you guys already looked at,
I'll give you two options. One, what my buyer will pay for it, and two, what the property is worth. Then you can decide if you want to go with the buyer offer or with just getting top dollar right now and putting it on the market and getting it sold.
So what's the buyer offer?
The buyer offer, that depends on the condition of the property. I haven't seen the interior. If you can just give me, is it the same the way you bought it in a few years back?
The pictures you see online is how we bought it, but since then we redid all the floors. There's two gates now, entrance in the back, entrance in the front. So there's definitely been some changes to it.
Okay. Yeah, the offer that they're probably going to offer you for something like that is probably going to be in the low 500 range.
Yeah, low 500. So low 500, you're thinking between 5 and 520.
Yeah, probably about like 510, 505.
510. Yeah,
the property is worth, I mean, I would say like 590.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming too. The only problem is right now the market kind of cooled out a little bit. I think the hurricanes, the potential war and all, and then also it's school season, so I think it kind of died down. So if I were to put it on the market, it probably wouldn't be till about March where the prices will slightly go up again.
The only difference between, I mean, I can guarantee you'll get 590 all day right now, and that's what it's worth. I mean, the only thing about waiting till March is that one, the Feds are going to meet again, so interest rates might rise. Two, we don't know what's going to happen with North Korea. If we do go to war or whatever, then and we're actually in war, then everything is going to go down, including the stock market. So then you'll have to take that risk.
You really think I can get 590 now?
Definitely. I mean, the property on Warwick just sold for 599.
The houses are going for some of the newer builds are going I think one went for 835, but that was a complete rebuild.
El Sereno, man, is a hot area.
Yeah, I agree. Well, look, man,
a lot of hipsters.
Yeah. Well, it's also that Boyle Heights is doing a lot of pushback, so people are shifting gears.
Honestly, man, as a real estate broker who sells about 35 to 45 homes a year, I mean, I probably wouldn't recommend you going to that buyer's offer because you'd be leaving out at least $50,000 on the table, and I mean, that wouldn't make any sense, for you. And I mean, I wouldn't mind, but I mean, I honestly, I come from a military background, so I come from ethics and honesty and my word. So I was at the United States Coast Guard Academy for a few years. So I wouldn't, to be honest, and I wouldn't, I understand values and and the policy really well. So I mean, I wouldn't, suggest you taking a low offer if we can get you like 589 for it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, look, man, I have your number. I'll keep it. The reason why I'm interested in what you're saying is I've talked to a few other folks, but they don't really know the East Side market. And right now the East Side, like you recognize that it's hot. You understand the hipster stuff. You get that. A lot of people don't even fucking know that language. Don't even know anything about that.
Yeah, man.
So I'm definitely interested in selling, man. To be honest with you.
And I know how to market to them because. A lot of my friends are USC, UCLA grads, and a lot of marketers, attorneys going into the film industry. So I market a lot to those people, and I know how to market to those people. I have special marketing tools, just the same way I called you.
Oh, great.
It's the same way. I market to and the target market, which is like the hipsters, the younger crowd that are looking to live in this hipster.
And USC Medical, they're giving their employees, I think they're giving them money for the down payment and shit, stuff like that.
Yeah, I know
so
that, man, because my buddy. Yeah, my buddy that I went to school. My buddy that I went to school with, he's an RN there.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, my cousin worked there. She told me, she's like, yeah, they give us money for down payment if you buy in this area. I'm like, shit, that's good. That's good to know. Well,
that's another angle I market. I drop off. The way I can do it is I either drop off, flyers to that hospital and get it on on one of their bulletin boards, or I can run Facebook ads to everyone that works at the hospital. So when they're on Facebook, my ad comes up with your property, and obviously anyone that works at the hospital, is making pretty good income, so they'll qualify. And I'll run Facebook ads, like a just listed campaign against that specific hospital and people that are renting in that area that are making X amount of money that would qualify for this house.
Oh man, well then, yeah, I think we should definitely meet because you're speaking my language, man. So
yeah, man.
I want to sell this house. I think it's can I wait next year and will it probably peak a little? Maybe, but you're right. The rates are definitely going to go up, and this time I do think it'll impact the mortgage, the mortgage rate. So I agree with you. I think right now is a good time to sell.
Well, when do you want to meet?
So when can we set up? Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Are you in the area?
Yeah, I'm a real estate broker, so I mean I can.
Are you familiar? But you're familiar with the east side and everything around here, right?
I'm familiar with the east side, and a lot of my clients are I mean, I just sold a property. I mean, in Culver City for 1.23.
Nice.
Eagle Rock, Highland Park. I know that area.
So you know the area.
On Avenue 52.
Okay, great.
I'll bring you all the comps that have sold in that area too.
And do you recommend selling this house? Because when I was looking for a house, I always preferred it to be turnkey, instead of having the.
All right, so I'm going to take advice from Judy right here. She says, wow, time out. So, all right, so let's see. Who wants to be in the hot seat for this call? All right, that was about a 7-minute, 56-second call. We have about 2 minutes left on that call, but let's see. What would you grade the call so far? Let me know. All right, actually, Judy said something. Hold on, where are you at? I know we talked to you, but let's see here. Where are you at, Judy? Judy, are you there?
Yes, I am, sir.
Say hi to everyone, Judy.
Hi, everyone.
All right, Judy. So how does that call make you feel?
Well, I was getting frustrated just listening because the seller is certainly knowledgeable and is anxious, but he just keeps talking.
Uh-huh.
He needed to say, I'll see you tomorrow at 1, and then start his pitch on what he can do and all his comps and his internet and Facebook, whatever.
Okay, what else?
More. Let's see. When the seller kept saying, yes, let's get together. Wow, there was your line. Just say tomorrow at 1. How's that? And that would be it. And you got an appointment and you get started.
Right? Okay. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for that. All right. So let's see here. Who else? Let me see here. Let's see here. Let's try to unmute some other people that we haven't talked to. Let's see here. How about Nancy? Where are you at, Nancy? Nancy, you there?
I'm here.
Say hi to everyone, Nancy.
Hi, everyone.
All right, Nancy. What would you grade this call? How does this call made you feel?
It made me feel good. I thought he should get close to a 10.
Okay. What else?
Well, because he got to the point where the guy was asking him to make the appointment, and he matched it well in tone and whatever. So I think he did a good job. So he established himself as knowledgeable, sort of like a celebrity in that market. And I know he was kind of going on his ability to market too, but the guy didn't seem to mind. So
yeah. Okay. Good feedback. Good feedback. All right. So anything else, Nancy?
No, that's about it.
Okay. Thank you so much for the contribution. All right. Hold on here. I like this. All right. So, yes, where are you at now? Hey, are you there? Hello? Hey.
Sorry, I was here muted on my side.
Oh, there you go. So say hi to everyone again.
Hi, everyone.
All right.
Hi, Naya.
All right, no problem. All right, so I like to have these discussions, all right? So, again, this is a safe environment that I want to create, but I want to have a high-level discussion about this, so that's why I decided to unmute you instead of keep on going on. So what did you say?
So I actually texted that I think that the guy needed extra time to solidify his comfort with the caller. I think this person who was calling could have made an appointment earlier, but he would have had a weak appointment. In other words, he wouldn't have had a guy who's waiting for him to get there. He would have had a guy who felt like, okay, I have to have an appointment with some guy who called me. Mm-hmm. Because by the time later in the conversation, you can see he's going to get off that call and he's going to tell his friends now. Some guy's going to come and he's going to tell me all the cool stuff about my house and he really knows my area and he's going to market my place. You can tell he's a different seller now than he was earlier in the call where he was starting to just pull in the right direction for an appointment. I think he's a much stronger I'll sign now appointment, or I'll make a real clear plan now, than he was at the time he was initially talking about potentially making an appointment. I think it was wise, actually, in this case, to build a little more rapport.
Okay, we still got 2 minutes left, so I'll play in a little bit. But what other things have you noticed about this? Have you noticed the tone and pitch of this call is completely different than the other one? Did you recognize that?
Yeah. So one of the other things I was noting into my notes too is I think this guy is exactly the opposite of the other seller. Uh-huh. Right? And even though your caller's totally bullshitting his knowledge on the area, he's not bullshitting it in a bad way. He's basically saying, I can sell stuff. And as a real estate agent, I can go, yeah, you don't know shit about that area. You kind of know it, but you don't, right? Maybe you had a buyer look there or two, but you just sold something in Culver City, right? So, but I feel like the seller knows so much, he's filling in the gaps.
Yeah, the seller's sharp. He knows what the heck he wants, and he even said first off, he says, "Oh yeah," and if you notice, the speed at which he's talking is much faster than the other one, right? He's mirroring very well with the other side, saying like man, like I wouldn't have said like man. I think he said a little bit too much of that, because I think he's losing the position of being more of an expert, more of a professional, but you can see it's kind of night and day in terms of how he's talking. The other one was more of right? But he's literally like on some of the calls he's cutting them off, So
yeah, and this one I'm amazed how much the seller knows about his own market and his own marketing.
Yeah. I'm amazed too. So, okay, thank you so much for that. I'm going to go ahead and mute you there. All right, so let's go and keep on moving forward. And we have 2 minutes left on this one, and then we'll open up to Q&A. But please pay attention to this because, again, it's going to be interesting. Okay.
People's, stuff still there. So I've been debating that too. Let's say right now you and I meet and we decide, all right, fuck it, let's do it. I'm debating, do I stay here and while I sell it, or do I say, all right, let me get all my shit out and that way we sell it empty? I don't know. Maybe that's something we could talk about.
No, man. I'd probably, as long as you make it easy for me to show that property, then it's fine because I'm sure you're gonna have it where the property is nice and clean, so it's gonna look staged. So that's also gonna help with. So that's also going to help with some of these clients that can't see the vision when it's not when it's empty. So I think as long as you keep it clean, man, and keep it nice looking, there's not clutter and stuff like that. I think we'll be fine.
Oh, perfect, man. So maybe could we set up a meeting then on? Hold on, let me grab my calendar real quick. Give me 1 second.
And side note, it is always great when the seller says, hey, hold on.
I can either be free this Sunday, if not till next Friday, because I'm out of town for work starting Monday morning, and I won't be back till Friday morning. So I could either meet next Friday afternoon. I'm back by about 9 a.m.
What time Sunday works for you?
Sunday, anytime after 12 noon is good.
Okay, so like 1:30?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
All right, man. I'll see you Sunday at 1:30.
All right, sounds good. So Kevin, right? I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Give me a call.
yeah, man. I'll send you I'll text you my personal phone, my cell phone, and we'll just take it from there, and we'll see how we can get you. I'll show you how I get sellers like yourself top dollar.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate it. Good talking to you. You have a good one.
You too, man. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, so that was the final call. So he did get the appointment. So again, let's do a final round of grading this call. So again, 1 being terrible, 10 being excellent, and 5 being kind of mediocre. Grade the call, please, 1 through 10. Type it in the actual chat box right now, and then please type in why you're grading it that. Okay? Dum 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 bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. All right, so we got some a little bit delay, but I think I see some. All right, so we got some 8. We got some couple people who changed their grade because they said they got the appointment. We got people saying 10, 8 plus, very effective, 7. We still got some 3s and 5s. Judy, I think, still had a 5 on there. Liz had a 5 on there as well. All right, so I gave him a 7 on this call. All right, 7. Okay. I gave him a 7 on this. It was pretty darn good, all right? Yeah, because I would have been a little bit further along and, so let me see. 8 because he listened and seemed to be able to relate with the guy. Yep. But I downplayed it because I can't tell that the caller knew why. 8 effective, but I downplayed it because I can't tell that the caller knew why. Okay. Yeah, so as I'm, the point I wanted to make on today's training, I'm going to open up to Q&A, okay, so let's go ahead and go to Q&A here. On today's training is to let you hear some of the calls, right? Now, in this case, we'll have some of my other guys, I'll have you listen to some of the other guys, but hopefully you were able to hear the different style. Okay, and keep in mind, these are literally calls that we had in the last, I want to say week. All right, last week. Okay, so you can tell just on the tonality, the voice, the choices of question, how we're doing the controlling our calls, how we're talking to these people. It's different, right? Like this one, you heard him saying, man, how many times? The guy started cussing, right? The guy started cussing. He was like, yeah, man, fuck, beep, pop, beep, and he's like, yeah, like that kind of stuff, right? So versus the other one, a little bit slower pace, getting ripped, it was upset, right? And like, how you get my number? And then it's kind of like, well, meaning that, and then just slowing it down, talking a little bit different choices of words, right? So I want you to please understand that you have to test a lot of this stuff, okay? I'm a firm believer, like in sales, right? Our script's good, 100%. Okay, scripts are good. It's better than not having it, especially if you're not trained to listen really carefully, right? But the top salespeople, in my opinion, are the folks that are listening 2 times more than actually speaking. And then recognizing that these rebuttals that we have to have, you have to be able to tell a story. We have to be able to tell a story. Right? This is an absolute must. Because remember, story sells, facts tell. All right, so I'll open up to Q&A. So what questions do you guys and gals have that I can answer or something that I can help you out with? And let me know if you like this type of stuff. What would you change on this one to add more value, get into the stories more? Yeah, I would definitely get into more of the stories, especially the USC and the marketing campaign stuff. I would have went in a little bit more on that kind of stuff, even though it might have been a little bit over the head. The fact that the guy was pretty smart, I would have actually pounded on that, which is something that we do actually legitimately do, which is we would run Facebook ads on a property address, right, to go after people. So, for example, other ways you can do this is like, for example, if you have clients that you helped and they work at a hospital, right, take a picture with the person, right? And then run that picture on top of the actual address of the property. I mean, it's not the property, but of where they work. And then you run the advertisement on top of that. Now, why do you do that? Is because coworkers are there, and the coworkers are going to congratulate them, be like, "Oh, congratulations on your new house! Congratulations on your new house!" You know, because they're going to see that picture. Okay, even patients too, right? So we've done that. We've done that in the past, and it works really well. Okay, so so I would have went a little bit more on the story on that side. Other one is when he gave value of it, I would have went a little bit more in depth, gave him a little bit more details on it, the fact that he knew value on it. So I would have gave it a little bit more. Other ones I would have asked is, you know, he clearly said he's going to be out for work and then he's going to come back on a Sunday. I would at least ask, what do you do, right? Like, what do you do? Like, where you have to, you're going to be out of town, you're flying out to a different company. Like, what the heck do you do, right? Like, you know, I would ask at least that component. You know, so, you know, so Griselle said, love the storytelling, great. Love the case studies, okay. So any other feedback, comments, questions, something I can help you out with immediately right now, please type in the actual chat box. These trainings and this moment is for y'all because I am here. And actually, where are you at, Joseph? Actually, I saw you, Joseph. I wonder if you're here. Joseph, you there? Joe. Joe. I don't know, maybe you stepped away, Joe? Okay, I'm not sure. All right, so maybe you stepped away, Joe. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, so Joe closed one, and he did his 30,000, I think, just recently. He's been texting me on this, so which is super cool knowing that he did that. And he has a new campaign going on as well. So would love to get his update on what's happening. So. Right, so any other feedback, questions, concerns, something I can help you out with, type it in the actual chat box. I'll go for another 2 minutes or so. We've been going on for almost 2 hours. I want to make sure that we don't go too long. All right, so I don't see anything. So again, throughout the week, reach out to me. I'm here for you guys. Our team is here for you as well. But go out there, keep on doing this stuff. You know, again, it's about a leap of skills, not a leap of faith, and you have to develop a new skill set, and hopefully I was able to at least cover some stuff today that helps you develop that new skill and help you develop some new things that you can apply in your business, your organization, and if you need some help, just, you know, simply reach out to us. But let's put on our overalls, let's roll up the sleeves, and let's get to work, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so love you guys. Thank you so much. Take care, and bye-bye.